sen na asa song.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 483. It's Friday, March 15th, 2013, 9 p.m. Pacific Time. Internet talk radio for your imagination. Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California. Today we hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, the Brewmaster, plus we bring you the segment News Random, where we look at why awesome things are disappearing from San Francisco.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And it looks like a lot of high-profile politicians have changed their positions on gay marriage, don't you know?
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Including Senator Rob Portman of Ohio, a Republican who was on Mitt Romney's shortlist for being Mitt Romney's running mate, but that opportunity was missed, and Rob came out and said that he did not oppose gay marriage. That's because his own son is gay, and that would upset the carriage. And also Dick Cheney, when he found out his daughter was a lesbian, and John Huntsman,
Mike's Daily Podcast,
a former Republican presidential candidate, he signed a pro-gay marriage legal brief along with 76 other Republicans,
Mike's
which was given to
Daily
the Supreme Court
Podcast
before their upcoming ruling on the Defense of Marriage Act. Well, that sounds like momentum. Or would that be Mitt-mentum? No, it's home-momentum. Oh, look who just walked in. Hi, Mike. It's Benita, the rodeo queen. How y'all doing?
And it's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Tell you what. I think that marriage should be between a man and a woman. Preferably a very hot woman, and that man being me. Oh, wait a minute. I'm married to Benita.
Yeah, and I'm going to punch y'all in the face.
Ouch. Ow, I deserve that.
Disgruntled Fiddle Player, I don't condone domestic violence of any kind. Unless it's against you.
Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate that.
Mike, I want to sign that legal brief, too.
You can sign my legal brief in my pants later tonight. Ow. Mike, now she's just pinching me.
I know, we don't have a sound effect for that.
That's good. Either she's punishing me for my statement, or this is foreplay.
It's hard to tell. Look who else just walked in.
Oh, damn, I gotta make the root beer. I'm the brewmaster.
Brewmaster, I just read an article about Billy Joe Armstrong from the group Green Day, and you know he went through rehab, and he gave an interview to Rolling Stone to John, Jeff, Billy, Fricky, whatever his name is. And he said that this is the only time he's ever going to talk about him going to rehab, but he had to go to rehab. Things got really bad last year, and he was taking a lot of pills, a lot of over-the-counter prescription medication, and drinking a whole bunch.
Wow, Mike, that's terrible.
Yes, but he stopped drinking, and the last evidence of his last drop is his horrible rant and rave and drunk-filled performance he did for the iHeartRadio concert in Las Vegas, funded by the wonderful people at Clear Channel. Clear Channel, we suck.
Wow, Mike, I'm glad that he got help.
Yes, he did, and now he says all he'll drink is root beer, and he says he loves root beer.
Wow, I got a customer.
He didn't say specifically your root beer, however.
Thanks, Mike. I'm going to go send him a whole case. Come on, Benita.
Yeah, Mike, we got to get busy. Not in a sexual way, but like we have to get busy putting together the root beer. I just want to be clear. Well, that's wonderful, them helping each other out. You know what else is wonderful is my friends Christy Jill Bresh Gorley and Jason Gorley gave birth to their twins. Yeah, big congrats to them. They have got their new twins, Ellie and Liddy, and now they begin the wonderful journey through life as Christy and Jason do the wonderful journey of being parents.
Mike, I don't have any kids, but I do make an excellent parent.
Why is that?
Well, like when they get out of hand, I make them go outside and run, and I tell them in order to make them run that they're being chased by a rabid dog, tell you what.
That is not good. That is not good parenting. That's going to also make them afraid of dogs, too. And you don't want that. There's too many people afraid of dogs in today's world anyway. People need to chill out and enjoy dogs because they're here to stay and they're man's best friend. No, literally they are, because men and dogs have a lot in common. It's true, men, we do, except for the licking our privates part.
Mike, I just want to tell you that I don't coddle children. I'm not a coddler.
You're not?
No. I don't make shoes.
Okay, that's a cobbler.
I don't... I'm going to throw a shoe at your head.
Well, I ducked. Ha, missed.
I meant to miss you.
Okay, well, if you think that the world is a much better place because Republicans are starting to change their mind, or you're just happy that Ellie and Liddy are now in today's world, you can email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. Also email me if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you'd like to sponsor the show. It's mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. We have an availability for you. Also, check out our website, mikesdailypodcast.com. Go there to find our link to where to listen to us in iTunes and subscribe to this show in iTunes. More people find out about us if you do that. And then you get the show delivered to you directly, and it's wonderful, and you get to listen to it, and your life is so much better, isn't it? For listening to it. Also, you can rate the show and comment on the show there. That also helps us get exposed to more people. Also, you can find where our link is in Facebook, Yelp, Twitter, and YouTube, as well as we have the blog and the podcast picture all at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Well, Mike, it sounds like everything's there. Except that shoe I just thrown. You see where I went?
You don't wear shoes anyway. You wear boots.
Oh, yeah.
You're welcome for me pointing that out. And also, if you go to mikesdailypodcast.com, there is a deal of the day window on the left-hand side. If you click on that and buy something on Amazon with the Amazon deal of the day, you will be helping out the show somehow. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but anyway, if you buy anything through Amazon, use that, bookmark that little window, and you can help out our show. Help us out. Help! Mike'sDailyPodcast.com.
News Random.
And we do have a segment called Emails from Email where we read your comments, by the way. And this is an interesting news article. So I have talked to the people that created this awesome sculpture that you can find along the Embarcadero in San Francisco. It is a sculpture. It actually looks like a spaceship, but not like a modern-looking type spaceship like one of the funky ones you see in that Star Trek reboot with J.J. Abrams. It's more of a spaceship like you would see in the old days, like the old Flash Gordons, like the really old ones, the before the Queen took it over, the group Queen, and did that 80s movie. Back in the day, black and white, these cool kind of almost Art Deco looking type rockets. There's a big rocket spaceship sitting there on the Embarcadero. Well, maybe by the time you listen to this, it'll be gone, because as of this recording, they are having a finale party celebrating the farewell of this sculpture. It will be taken from the Embarcadero. It is leaving, and actually they'll be moving it on Sunday. And I actually spoke to someone who was in charge of having that sculpture put there in a past podcast. Here's a little bit of that interview now.
Broadly speaking, that is a piece of art that was created for Burning Man in 2009, and it's been shown a couple of other places since. The Blackrock Arts Foundation has placed a number of large-scale artworks like that on a temporary basis around San Francisco, and that's kind of been our latest project in that vein. It'll be up through, I believe, October of this year.
Oh, very nice. Okay. It's so cool right there, right by the water. And then it just kind of jumps out at you. And have you had interesting comments about it from the people who've seen it?
Sure, yeah. There's, if you look on Flickr, for example, there have been a lot of really interesting photographs taken of it. Photographers seem to love it. It's been written up in a number of different places.
Cool. And it started at Burning Man. It debuted this past year or something. Was
in 2009.
Oh, okay.
August of 2009. The artists are guys named Sean Orlando, David Schulman, and Nathaniel Taylor, but they have a whole big crew working for them on that too. And they created it. They got a grant, I believe, from the Burning Man organization to create the piece for that event in 2009, and we did a bunch of fundraising to get it put there. until for I think it's a year and a month, something like that. But it's going to be there on the Embarcadero.
That is so cool. It made me think of like I forget what Bugs Bunny cartoon it was. Well, along with Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers, but like the old ones. But they did it.
Yeah. So the title of the piece is "The Ray Gun Gothic Rocket Ship." It's kind of their take on a certain kind of style of a certain kind of era of science fiction.
And I think it says "Local Earth" or something next to it. The little display.
Right, yeah. They created for this installation a stop, like a rocket stop, they called it. That kind of treats it as if there's a rocket transit line there that you can hop on and go to Orion or something like that.
Well, according to The Guardian out of San Francisco, the San Francisco Bay Guardian, they did say that the 5-ton crane crew and other artists that placed Gothic ray gun rocket ship on the waterfront in 2010, they did have permission from the port to be there for a year. Then it got extended for another year, and then another 6 months. So what's interesting is that San Francisco does not say, okay, this is a new sculpture, it's a new permanent sculpture, it stays. No. Whenever it erects a sculpture or some kind of interesting new thing, like, oh, yeah, you probably have heard about the Bay Bridge, the one that goes from the Yerba Buena Island, the Treasure Island, to San Francisco. That now has a cool LED display. All those cables that go down vertically off the frame that swoops up and down. The technical terms I do not have, but you get the idea. Those lines, those straight up and down lines, are illuminated every night in supposedly different patterns that never are the same twice. And this will be going on. It's temporary, so it will be going on for 2 years. It's called Bay Lights, and it's by Leo Villarreal. But San Francisco Mayor Ed Lee is already publicly talking about extending it. It started on March 5th. So by saying temporary, they are able to bypass protracted, emotional, and expensive battles that once defined the sitting of sculptures on public land. In fact, in Pod Castro Valley, we had a certain sculpture, a sign that said Castro Valley, that Pod Castro Valley supposedly paid $100,000 for, and the sign now is gone. The people of Pod Castro Valley said they hated it and demanded it be taken down. So it now sits somewhere in Dublin in a warehouse where no one can see it. That's really efficient. That sign would probably still be up if Pod Castro Valley had said, oh, it's only temporary. Don't worry, it'll be gone soon. But the San Francisco Bay Guardian spoke to the longtime public art director of the San Francisco Arts Commission, Jill Manton, who said that the temporary public art placements go back to the early 1900s, usually involving smaller pieces, while big, years-long controversies continued to rage on over bigger pieces, such as the Foot. There was a sculpture called the Foot that never went in along the Embarcadero in San Francisco. And Cupid's Span, now that's still there, that Don Fisher did. And I guess some critics wish that it had only been a temporary placement, but I guess that's permanent. And a big, ill-fated peace sign that was supposed to be in Golden Gate Park. According to this Stephen T. Jones written article, in fact, they are going to be installing the Bike Bridge, a sculpture using recycled bicycle parts that local at-risk teens helped build thanks to a grant from the National Endowment for the Arts, and that's going to be going in Oakland. And that's going to be at the intersection of Telegraph and 19th. Oh, and there's more stuff coming to the Embarcadero in San Francisco. Pier 92 this fall is going to be getting another temporary artwork where old grain silos are going to be transformed into visual artworks. And that Pier 27 is going to be turned into a spot for a rotating series of temporary artworks once the Port of San Francisco regains possession of the spot from the America's Cup in November. That's where Reebok has got a big store where they've stacked 2 train carts